Feeling frustrated with your lack of progress working with estate agents to find profitable deals, then I suggest that if you implement what we cover in this video, you'll probably be able to make progress in the next 3 months more than you did in the last 12. So let me just first of all suggest how you might be feeling. You talk to agents, you call them, you go on viewings, they don't really give you much time, they don't really give much information, and really you're left feeling like you're an inconvenience. This is typically what tends to happen. This is from my own personal experience, how I started, but also from doing mentoring. People go onto Rightmove and Zoopla, they find a property they're interested in, they call the number on the screen, they get through to someone, they say, hi, I'm interested in viewing this property on Acacia Avenue, it's on for £150,000. And the agent responds by saying, yeah, that's fine, can I take some details from you please, your name, your address, your email address, your phone number, and then you go and do your viewing. You don't really give very good feedback. You probably don't even ever submit an offer, or you do, it's incredibly occasionally. You never follow up that offer, and after a while you stop doing viewings with them. And then you're on to the next agent. And here's the thing you really need to understand. An agent spends most of the time doing that exact same process. They spend most of their time on the phone, taking details, making registrations of people. And they spend a huge amount of their time also then doing viewings, driving to or from viewings, and on the phones giving feedback. What they actually really want though, above everything else, are completions. They want commission, both for the agency and for the individual. So if you just show up and just talk the language of doing viewings, rather than the language of doing purchases, you're not going to be as well received. So here are then some suggestions to try and give the agent what they want, while at the same time getting the information that you require to put a compelling offer in that's going to result in a completion which is good for you and good for them. First of all, I would begin in the same way. Go on Rightmove and Zoopla and find not just one property, but several properties that are on with the same agent. So let's just say 3-bed terrace properties on for around £150,000. Don't just call up though about one property. What you want to do is you want to take that information about that property and the other two that are on with that agent, and you want to print them out. Before you do, you want to make sure you get the full address, so use Google Street View and get the address of each of those 3 properties, and then you want to print them out on high quality paper. And with that, you also want to provide your personal details on another separate sheet of paper. By that I mean your name, your email address, your current residential address, and your phone number. Have that printed out as well. And also you want to make sure you've got printed out on high quality paper your offer documents. So your proof of funds, a bank statement, if you've got a mortgage broker, a decision in principle, or an AIP. You also want to make sure you have your solicitor details to hand. You also want to make sure you've got printed out on high quality paper a picture of your driving license or your passport. Make sure you take your originals with you as well, and also a council tax statement or utility bill showing your address. Have all that printed out with the 3 properties on with one agent, and you want to put them into one of these types of folders. And then don't make the phone call, go and repeat the same thing and find 3 very similar properties on, but with a different agent, and produce all the same documentation to go with it. And then you've got 2 full packs of information about properties that you're interested in buying and the necessary paperwork. And I know you haven't even spoken to anyone yet while you're talking about having offer documents ready, but just trust me, get that ready. The next thing you want to do before you actually go and make contact with the agent is speak to your boss if you're employed and get time off work. Let's just say you've got Tuesday afternoon off work, booked off work. Now, rather than call the agent, go and visit the agent armed with your 2 packs. Now let's just say I've got agent 1 and agent 2. Agent 1 in red, agent 2 in yellow. And I walk into agent 1 and I stand and make eye contact and say, as they say to you, how can I help you? Which is a standard phrase. You say, I'm wondering who I might be able to speak to about buying one of your properties. And you see, what you've done now is you've shown up not as someone who wants to go and just do a viewing, which is how they will see it, but as someone who will actually make them commission. It's subtle, but it's very, very powerful. The whole way you'll be received from the very first opening sentence that you make, and the fact that you have shown up in person, puts you head and shoulders above the rest. And let me explain why. Because you see, an agent has 3 different quality of leads. Their lowest quality of lead is someone who finds them through portals, i.e. Rightmove and Zoopla. The next quality of lead is someone who actually registers with them through their own dedicated website. But the highest quality of lead by far is someone who actually goes into their offices and registers in person, because statistically people are more likely to go on to complete if they register them directly than if they do through any of the other two mentioned avenues. So showing up in person, you're basically saying I'm a high quality lead without saying you're a high quality lead. And saying can I talk about buying a property, not viewing a property, puts you in a much stronger position. They'll then say, yeah, sure, come and sit down here, or Carol back in a second, sit at her desk. They say again, how can I help? We say, look, I've been on Rightmove and Zoopla and I've found a number of properties. One second, let me just see which folder it is. Oh yeah, this is Agent A. So you put Agent 2 down on the floor. So you've subtly just said, I'm working with more than one agent here, and it says that you need to be taken seriously because if you don't buy with them, you're going to buy with someone else. You haven't said that again, but you've just said, you've given that impression. Take your information out and say, look, but I understand these three properties I'm interested in buying. It's number 1 Acacia Avenue, it's number 30 Acacia Avenue, it's number 50 Acacia Avenue. So you found the addresses, which also shows that you're serious. And you say, but I understand that before I view anything, I'm going to need to be registered with you. So you're saying that that's their highest workload job, registering agents. But so I thought I'd got the information to help you for that process. Then you take out your registration details, your name, address, email address and phone number, and you slide it across the desk. And what I often say at this point is I say it's foundedproperty.co.uk. Often people struggle over the phone to hear founded. And again, what I'm saying is when people struggle over the phone, I'm actually showing up in person. So I'm saying, I'm making the distinction. I'm not just on the phone, I'm here presently. And these are my details. So they'll say, okay, let me just make a note of these. And then they'll say to you, okay, and what properties are they? And you show them. And then she'll say, or he will say, and when would you like to go and view? And then you can turn around and say, well, I've actually already booked Tuesday afternoon off work. I'm hoping to do 3 viewings with you and then 3 viewings with competitor B. Do it quietly, because I don't want to talk about competitors in their office. Would you be opposed to that? So then they realise that you have found 3 properties, you've found their address, you've talked about buying, you've come prepared, you show serious intent, and you can also then say, once they get them in the diary, yes, that's fine, let's do this. You can say, I've got information here, which I know I'm being premature. It's about the purchase. I've got a gate to navigate to, let me just get through this. But I have got proof of ID, proof of address and proof of funds, which I know you don't need yet, but it's probably helpful for you to see them. Now, what you're saying to them is this: you know that for you to get an offer accepted, you have to show ID. And what you have to do then is take in your passport or your driving license, you get a photo, they take a photocopy, they put it on file. By you already having a photocopy or a copy printed on high quality paper, which always means you stand out because they normally have very poor quality paper, you have high quality paper copies. You can say, I'll leave this with you, you can put it on file. Again, you're showing them that you already know what their process is. And here, by the way, is the original. So they'll look at the passport, they'll look at you, they'll say, yes, that's a good likeness, they'll sign it or initial it, and they'll say, we'll keep that on file. You're just showing you're really ready for the game. You've really thought about what you need, and they'll be seeing you as a buyer, not as someone who's just turning up to do some viewings, which is really what they say in their head, a waste of time, which is really why they don't give you a huge amount of it or attention, because it's just like you're just another person who calls up and does a viewing. So then on the Tuesday, go and do your viewing and so on, and make sure you give quality feedback and submit your offer professionally in writing, ideally over email rather than over the phone. Now, I can see the length of this video is getting on a bit, so let me know in the comments if any of these tips are helpful so far, and I'll perhaps do a second one with how to make the offers and how to follow up, if that's of help and of interest to you. But that's it. I hope you're going to do this next 3 months, do it consistently with a number of agents. I bet you'll have a tremendous night day difference between the success of speaking to agents. They'll get more time, they'll give you more information, and then you'll be on your way to buying your next or your first property investment